that caught Caitlin Clark in the eye. Ultimately, she ended up getting a black eye out of it. It was not called a foul, by the way.
You know what's crazier than a black eye in basketball? When it happens to the league's new superstar, and the refs don't even blink. That's exactly what went down with Caitlin Clark. But here's the real question. Was it an accident? Or did this rivalry just get too real? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Picture this. The arena's packed, fans are screaming, and the stakes are high. It's Clark versus Carrington, and everyone's on edge. Then, in a split second, it happens. Carrington's hand flies up, bam! Clark's holding her eye. The crowd goes wild, but the refs? They're silent. No whistle, no foul, nothing. Now, we're all wondering, was it on purpose? What's gonna happen to Carrington? And what about Clark?
It wasn't intentional by any means.
I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit it.
This isn't just about one game, folks. There's more to this story than meets the eye, pun intended. These two have history, and it's about to get real interesting. The WNBA's got a situation on its hands, and we're gonna break it all down for you. Think this is the first time Clark and Carrington have clashed? Think again. These two have been trading barbs since day one. But here's the kicker. Their beef might be the best thing to happen to the WNBA in years. How? Let's break it down. The Clark-Carrington rivalry didn't start with an eye poke. It's been building all season, turning from playful trash talk into a full-blown feud. Remember when Carrington called out Clark for exaggerating contact on the court? That was just the beginning. Clark, the rookie sensation, came into the league with a target on her back. She's not just good, she's changing the game. But Carrington? She wasn't about to let some newbie steal the spotlight without a fight. It started with side-eye glances and muttered comments. Then it escalated to social media jabs. Carrington would post clips of Clark's missed shots, adding snarky captions. Clark fired back by sharing her impressive stats after every game Carrington's team lost. The tension hit a new level during a heated matchup in July. Carrington blocked one of Clark's shots, then stood over her, talking smack. Clark jumped up, got in Carrington's face, and the refs had to separate them. Fans went wild, choosing sides and debating who was in the right. This rivalry isn't just affecting Clark and Carrington, it's spilling over to their teammates. In post-game interviews, players are asked to take sides. Some defend their teammate, while others try to stay neutral. But you can see the divide growing. The fans, they're loving every second of it. Social media explodes every time these two face off. People who never watched WNBA before are tuning in just to see the Clark-Carrington drama unfold. It's like a soap opera, but with more three-pointers. But is this good for the league? That's the million-dollar question. On one hand, it's bringing in new viewers and generating buzz. The WNBA is getting more media coverage than ever. People are talking about women's basketball in barbershops and on sports radio. On the other hand, some worry it's overshadowing the game itself. Are people watching for the skill and athleticism, or just for the drama? And what message does it send to young fans when two of the league's stars are constantly at each other's throats? The league office is in a tough spot. They want the attention, but they also need to keep things under control. So far, they've let the rivalry simmer, hoping it'll boost ratings without boiling over. And boost ratings it has. Games featuring Clark and Carrington are selling out. TV viewership is up 20% when they play each other. Social media engagement around these games is off the charts. People who couldn't name a single WNBA player last year are now diehard Clark or Carrington fans. But with the eye poke incident, things might have gone too far. Now the league has to decide. Do they crack down on the rivalry and risk losing the buzz? Or do they let it play out and hope it doesn't get more physical? You think the players are the only ones feeling the heat? The refs are caught in a crossfire, and their next move could make or break the league. What if I told you their whistles hold more power than any player's shot? The eye poke heard round the WNBA wasn't just about Clark and Carrington. It put the spotlight on the zebras, and fans aren't happy. The no call on Carrington's eye poke? That's got everyone from couch coaches to Twitter analysts up in arms. Let's break it down. Carrington's hand goes up, Clark's eye takes the hit, and nothing. No whistle, no foul, nada. Fans are losing it, calling for Carrington's head on a platter. They want suspensions, fines, the whole 9 yards. But here's the kicker. It's not just about this one play. This incident, it's like pulling a loose thread on a sweater. The whole thing's unraveling, and now everyone's talking about how the WNBA handles its stars. Some folks think Clark's getting the LeBron treatment, you know, where the refs swallow their whistles every time she gets touched. Others? They're saying she's got a target on her back, and the league's not doing enough to protect her. Remember when Carrington said, "If that's anyone else, that's a foul?" Yeah, that didn't go over well. Fans were like, "Are you kidding me? You just poked someone in the eye." It's like complaining about the ref not calling traveling when you're in the middle of a flagrant foul. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about Clark and Carrington. It's about every star in the league. Are they getting special treatment? Are they getting roughed up with no consequences? The fans are split, and the WNBA's caught in the middle. Think about it. If the refs call every little thing on Clark, people cry foul, pun intended. If they let her get pushed around, they're not protecting their stars. It's a no-win situation, and it's got everyone talking. Now, let's talk safety. These aren't just players, they're the future of the league. When someone like Clark takes a hit to the eye and nothing happens, that's not just bad for her, it's bad for business. Fans want to see their favorites play, not sit on the bench with an injury. But here's the real question. Is Clark getting special treatment, or is she under a microscope? Some say she's getting away with murder on the court. Others think every little thing she does gets called. It's like she's playing a different game than everyone else, and nobody can agree on the rules. The WNBA's got a problem on its hands. They want the drama, the rivalries, the passion, but they also need to keep things under control. It's like trying to keep a campfire going without burning down the whole forest. So, what's the league gonna do? That's the million-dollar question. They could crack down hard, start handing out fines and suspensions like candy on Halloween. Or they could let it ride, hope it all blows over. Either way, they're walking a tightrope. You want to know something crazy? We dug into the numbers, and get this. In games with Clark, there's an average of 3.5 more fouls called than in other WNBA games. But here's the kicker. Most of those extra fouls, they're on Clark's opponents. Make of that what you will. But forget the players for a second. There's another key player in this drama, and she's got more on the line than anyone. What if I told you the future of the WNBA might hinge on one woman's next move? Enter Cathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner. She's the one caught in the middle of this Clark-Carrington firestorm, and she's feeling the heat from all sides. Fans are screaming for action, players are looking for protection, and the league's reputation is on the line. Talk about a pressure cooker situation. Engelbert's got a tricky balancing act on her hand. On one side, she's got to make sure the game stays fair. Can't have players thinking they can get away with eye pokes, right? But on the other side, she doesn't want to kill the intensity that's got everyone talking about the WNBA. It's like trying to keep a lid on a pot of boiling water without turning down the heat. Here's the real kicker. This isn't just about one incident. It's about the whole future of the league. Engelbert's got to figure out how to protect star players like Clark without making the game feel like flag football. And let's not forget about those refs. They're taking heat too, and Engelbert's got to decide if they need a refresher course or a complete overhaul. Now you might be thinking, why doesn't she just suspend Carrington and call it a day? If only it were that simple. Every move Engelbert makes is going to be scrutinized. Go too hard on Carrington, and people might say she's playing favorites. Go too easy, and fans will say she's not protecting the players. It's like trying to thread a needle while riding a roller coaster. But here's where it gets really interesting. We've got some inside info that Engelbert's not just sitting on her hands. Word on the street is that she's cooking up some major changes. We're talking new safety protocols, better training for refs, maybe even some high-tech solutions to catch those sneaky fouls. Imagine this, refs with instant replay in their ears, able to catch every little swipe and grab. Or how about a challenge system, like in tennis, where coaches can call for a review of a play? It sounds crazy, but with the pressure Engelbert's under, everything's on the table. And it's not just about the rules. Engelbert's got to think about the league's image too. The WNBA's been fighting for respect and recognition for years. Now that they've got everyone's attention, she's got to make sure it's for the right reason. She wants people talking about amazing plays, not eye pokes. Here's something to chew on. What if Engelbert uses this whole mess to push for bigger changes? We're hearing whispers about increased player safety measures, stricter penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct, and even a complete overhaul of the officiating system. This could be the spark that ignites a whole new era for the WNBA. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right now, Engelbert's got to deal with the Clark-Carrington fallout. She's got to make a statement, and it's got to be good. Too soft, and she looks weak. Too harsh, and she might kill the buzz that's been building all season. It's like defusing a bomb while juggling chainsaws. You know what's really keeping Engelbert up at night? Fear that this could happen again, but worse. Imagine if Clark had been seriously injured, or if this escalates into an all-out brawl next time. Engelbert's not just thinking about today, she's got to plan for tomorrow too. So, what's Engelbert going to do? That's the million-dollar question. But here's what we do know. She's not taking this lightly. Our sources say she's been in non-stop meeting, burning the midnight oil to come up with a solution that works for everyone. Alright, let's talk about what's next for Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. This eye-poke drama, it's not just about one game. It's got everyone talking about player safety and how the league handles its stars. Clark's not letting this slow her down though. Even after that rough game where she only scored 11 points, she's all about moving forward. She said, "We can win. I have all the confidence in the world in this team." That's the kind of attitude that makes her a leader. But here's the real question. How's the WNBA gonna handle this? Are they gonna crack down on rough play? Will they change how they officiate games? And what about these player rivalries? Are they good for the game or just asking for trouble? What do you think? How should the WNBA deal with stuff like this in the future?